What's going on Thursday? Throwdown 239 hockey. This is Pale Poner here, checking in with you for the first time in a couple of weeks now. I had a lot going on. I had vacation. I had a job change. I had a move. But I'm back. I'm on the show. We're ready. We're excited. We got a couple of guests with us. Ability, you're the main guy. You're always there for us. How you feeling today?
Man, I'm almost always there for you, except last week. I had a busy week in my life, man. Went to Chicago, did some family stuff, took the kids to the museum, stuff like that. But I'm here now, and I'm pumped up to be back with you guys. Tell you what, it's been exciting. It's been rough. It's been tragic. There's been some great things happening for some teams. There's been some bad things happening for others. Before we get into that, let me introduce the other guy we got going with us tonight. Before Daly can get here, work's always holding him back. Shock, how are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good. Riding off a good series sweep last night. So feeling good.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. So Shock's team took care of business against Dominator Silva last night. But we had a couple of things happen. So let's jump right into it. Ability. There were two big trades. I mean, it's basically the same trade, but you had three guys from each side going to either way. One involving Daly, who's a surprise to everybody, I think. He's a guy that doesn't typically trade a whole lot during the season. He's a guy that is normally very confident in his team, has already made two trades this season. He's got four new guys from his season, from his draft. So he's only got two guys left from his draft on his team, which is a shocker because Daly is normally one of those guys that sticks with his guns and knows what he's doing going into the draft, is very confident about what he does. And I think that's a reflection of how the team's going this season, obviously. I mean, they're 2-7. Not off to a great start. But what do you think? He trades Sober. He traded off at the 37 and Yambag. So he traded his starting goalie, his D partner, and the left wing off of his team. He picked up Mito Garin, Mac North, and Tompkins, who's another lefty. What do you think, Ability? You think Daly just needed to change of scenery? Why does Daly do this trade?
Well, there could be a couple reasons why Daly would make the trade, but I think I opened the floodgates for him, to be honest. I heard Daly say after the draft he doesn't trade anybody. He's notoriously known for that. He's proud of that fact. And then I was able to work a deal with him for Brick City, and I traded off No Regretskis. That was a tough trade for me. I didn't want to make it, but I made it. It was done. I'm a people pleaser, man. Some guys want things done. I try and make everybody happy around here. So that got done. But I think it opened the floodgates for Daly right into this trade. And this was a blockbuster trade. I mean, we're talking pretty much half your team here. So that's a tough one. I don't necessarily understand it 100% on Daly's part, other than maybe he just needed a change. 37, in my opinion, was playing pretty good goal for him. Last season, Steven got he didn't get enough props because the defense between Odd Guy and Daly was just too good. Steven wasn't facing any shots. It was one of those things, right? So he didn't get the props. 37, I felt, didn't have quite the same defense playing. Now, this is a new game, too, so some of that might play a part in why things aren't going the way they normally do on Daly's team. Another part I really feel falls on Daly's shoulders. He traded away his draft picks early on and felt he could make it happen. And in this scenario, I think it backfired on him. But I mean, when you look at the trade all around, I think that really community college over there, they may have got the better end of this deal. But that's not to take anything away from it. But I don't understand Mito and Mac North, two, in my opinion, capable goalies, both going over to Daly's team. And Tompkins, from what I hear, is just a great player anyway. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Shock, do you have any input on this? What do you think of this trade?
Last night we played against Dom, and from what I saw, I was surprised by the trade, but at the same time I wasn't, just because I heard from other people that that there really hadn't been any chemistry between the players, and a lot of the players on Daly's team were trying to take over and do their own styles of play instead of trying to mesh together with the others. So maybe, like you said, ability, it might just be that they need to, or that Daly needs to mix it up a bit.
Yeah,
Just
I think that might have been a problem with Brick City more so than the guys that he just traded away last night. Brick City, he is a strong-willed guy. He's a guy that wants things done the way that I can definitely understand that original move. No regrets keys for Brick City straight up. I think that was a pretty fair deal. I think both guys are just about as talented as the other. Maybe Brick City's got a little bit more going on where he can play a little bit more defensively. As a player than No Regrets keys can, but offensively, I think they're pretty close to the same level player. But the guys that Daly shipped out, you're talking about Yambag 37 and Sober. I mean, Yambag and 37 are both admins on the site. They're dealing with Daly all the time. I don't think that there are two people that would be telling Daly how to run his team or anything like that. And Sober is the kind of guy that's just gonna fill in and fit in where necessary. And I think Daly just wanted a change up front. He wanted something different. He wanted a different look. As far as Mito Garin and Mac North, I talked to Daly. Mito Garin will be playing forward on Daly's squad. Mac North is goalie only. He can play nothing but goalie. So Mac North is going to be the goalie, and Mito Garin is going to be playing forward with Esoteric and No Regrets keys. Mito Garin's a capable forward. He's a guy that can slot in. He's a guy that's going to listen and be receptive to feedback. So I think that's probably one of the things that Daly was really key on getting in this deal. Not that Sober or 37 or Yambag weren't. I think Daly just needed something different to look at. But in the meantime, while we were talking about that agent, aka Mark over there, he just checked in with us. Mark, he just got off work. How you doing, man?
Good, man. No complaints. I got stuck at work again late. I just about missed another show, so that'd have been as bad as Daily just about. But no, we're all right. We're killing it today, and excited to be on, and excited to have a big series tonight.
And now you're here looking beautiful as ever, joining us. Man,
Thanks,
it's good to see your smiling face, bro.
So, Mark, we were talking about the Daly Dom Silva trade that happened last night, obviously. I think we've pretty well covered it from a Daly perspective. Do you have any input on that, or do you want to talk about, what Dom's getting out of this trade?
I think it was a fair trade. Who did Dom get out from Daly? I know he got Yambag, 37
in a row.
and Sober.
And Sober.
Right, and I think Dom and Sober have played together plenty, right? I mean, I think they do have some chemistry, and we all know Dom loves his chem. I mean, I think they do have some of that going on already. So I think they both kind of made out of it really well. I think it was a change of scenery needed for Dales because Dale's not used to losing. And boy, am I letting him hear it, man. I am not letting him up in the captain's thread at all. I think he hears it at least twice a day from me that he's losing and he hates it. So, but I think Dom made well out of the trade as well with getting Sober and whatnot. So, I think it was good all around for both squads to switch it up, and I think it'll be a win-win.
And an underrated piece in this trade, I think, is going to be Tompkins going over to Daly's squad. For Dom Silva, he was playing really well. I didn't know the guy before the draft. I didn't really scout him at all either. He's one of the few guys that I didn't get to see play, so I didn't know anything about him heading into the season. But I think it's the same play on Monday night when he played against us. And the guy's a legit defenseman. He's really good. And pairing him with Daly, I think, is going to be an improvement. I mean, not to knock Yambag, but Tompkins looks like a guy that can really handle himself in his own zone, and he's a guy that can contribute offensively. So Tompkins, I think, is a big upgrade for Daly. I think that's one of the main reasons that he did it. For Dom, so he just loses Wolin last night. We'll talk about that as well. I guess we can talk about it now. Wolin was one of the guys that came over. I think he was recommended by Pogs and Clancy and the LG guys, Shakir guys. Wolin, he was a good player. Scouted him. I was planning on drafting him. Dom took him one pick before I was planning on taking him. I guess I missed. I'm glad to be missing out on that. But listen, the guy came into the league. He said he was going to be rookie of the year this season earlier on one of the shows in the chat, and he couldn't make it happen on Dom's squad, and I think that's really the end of it. He said that, or I don't think he said anything. They lost to UShock in overtime last night, and apparently he bounced after game 2 in overtime.
Yep.
And left the group chat. So that's that. Wolin's gone. Dom makes the trade, picks up Sober Enough. That's who he's replacing him with. What do you think, Shock? I mean, what's up with Wolin, man?
Honestly, I don't know. I played with him one season in LG, and he had done it to us once before in LG as well, after we had lost a couple games by large margins. So I don't know if it was just the fact that they weren't doing well, or he didn't feel he was doing or playing up to his potential. But I was just as surprised as anyone else to see that he just up and left.
Yeah, so I know we probably talk about it almost every time that there's Rule 1, but to say it again, I mean, in general, our league is set up so that it turns around very quickly. The whole point of having these short seasons where you play each team one time and then only go to the playoffs is so that you have league turnover, you have the draft,
Yep.
you have something to look forward to all the time. You're not stuck in a single season for months and months at a time like you would in a bigger league like LG or something like that. If you're on a crappy team over there, it's going to be a while before you're not on that team anymore. And that can be frustrating. I totally understand that. But we're talking about a league where the seasons are only a month and a half long, plus playoffs. So you're probably looking at about, at most, like a month and a half until you're done with your team and you can move on and get drafted to another team next season. I think that's kind of ridiculous to really put it bluntly, that somebody would just quit on their team in the middle of the series. It's only the second week of the season. It's not anything life or death. It's not anything serious right now. Like it's very quick to turn around, and honestly, how you can evaluate your team at this point in time and say we're trash, we're never going to get better is absolutely absurd to me. Because I mean, look, we're only 2 weeks into the season. I've played one series. I've played 3 games in the league so far. So Ability, you have anything on that situation?
Yeah, I got a little something. Disaster averted, man. I'll tell you what, Wolin was right there. Him and Tom, man, those guys, when I was doing my scouting, I liked both of them. Either one of them could have ended up on my team, just the way things panned out. Wolin was right there. I can't believe that happened, honestly. The guy's so good on the ice. I mean, as a player, he's got plenty of talent. So I don't know what the hiccup was there. I haven't heard the whole story. I don't think any of us have, but there could have been more to it, man. There could have been subtle chirping or something that happened. If it was just out of the blue, he just up and left out of rage, well, then adios, man. That's kind of why we have the Negan Rule 1, a.k.a. Yam Bag, a.k.a. the Booze Cruise. I heard that ship sunk, by the way, Yam. But I wanted to let you guys know, hey, I got Daly here in spirit. Eventually, he's going to show up to this thing. But Wolin, man, way to hold it down. We needed a Rule 1. I think we were like behind the curve here, but you're getting us caught up, so appreciate that.
Also, just quick, a lot of people in the chat, Pale, are saying your mic's really quiet.
My mic's quiet? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try and speak up a little bit more.
Well, hey, real quick. I got to get Shock's input. I got to get Agent's input.
Okay.
How happy are you guys when Pale's talking that he's not in the dungeon anymore? Holy shit.
It doesn't look like he's being held captive.
I don't know. I kind of liked when he was in the dungeon. It just gave him an ominous feel about it.
Yeah, I don't have a dungeon anymore. I moved out of my house. That's one of the reasons that I wasn't here 2 weeks ago. I was in Mexico on vacation last week, so that's why I wasn't here last week. But yeah, I'm back at my my parents' house. This is my room, and yeah, no more dungeon.
Back in his glory days.
Yeah, you know. All right, so I mean, we covered the daily trade. We covered Dom Silva. Dom Silva, I think, makes out on this deal as well. I think 37 is a really good goalie. I think Yambag, you know, he's a different player than Tompkins is, but maybe he sees something that he can make work with Dom. I know Dom's the type of player that's like, oh well, I'd rather see you fail at offense and me play better on defense than playing on offense and seeing you fail at D. So maybe we end up seeing Dom on D and Yam up front or something like that. And then so Sober Enough is a pretty big upgrade on the nothing that he had at left wing. So that obviously filled a hole for him as well. So that's a good deal. What else do we have today?
What about that other trade? There was one other trade. I don't know if you noticed it.
Mine? Was it mine?
Notorious Figo?
Yeah. How do you like that? I pulled a pale poner.
Figo for all the way. You reunited Brick City and Figo. Yeah, I mean, good luck to you. I think that they're two really good players that can play really well. I'm sure that they're loving being back together again. Those parties will be nice and rowdy for you.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. You do.
Did you guys touch on my trade from earlier?
We have not yet. We have
on
not.
How Ability ended up even getting Figo, and he was pissed I traded him in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you would have won with the other squad. Just throwing that out there.
I mean, my record hasn't changed. 2-1 every series so far. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. But somebody's record that hasn't changed as well is Sir Marty McFly over there. I think he's 11-0-1 the last time I checked.
You're right.
Is that right? Wow.
You're correct.
In a draft that was as stacked as we had it, there was a lot of guys going way later than they would normally in a typical draft. I'm surprised to see a team on the standings that just isn't taking any losses. I'm not surprised when I look at the players that are on that team. I mean, I had C-Dub last year. I had C-Dub last year. I know Marty's a really good player. I got to play with him before. Dolly's a guy that I've played a lot of games with just by extension because I used to play with C-Dub a lot. This is a team that's really defensively stout, but they have the scoring to go along with it. And then you throw B-Crips into the mix behind C-Dub and Marty McFly. And that's a team that is just set to go deep. And I'm surprised that he was able to assemble it the way that he was. What do you think, Agent?
I mean, I might be being captain obvious here, but he does have the most goals for and the least goals against. It's probably a pretty good recipe. I mean, let's be honest. He's got
be a good recipe to
let's be real. I mean, the dude's got two great defensemen on his team. Marty is a very, very defensive forward as it is anyways. So you add those together and then you put the best goalie in the league on their team. I mean, that's hard to beat, man. Marty put together a really solid squad. He's got the power couple. I mean, they have their own chemistry of their own, and it's obviously proven its point. They're all putting up points and they're all scoring. And it's not just one person doing all the scoring on their team. I mean, just by looking at stats, their three forwards are all within 2 points of each other, 26, 26, and 28. That's impressive. I mean, they're doing really great, and B-Crips is posting the highest save percentage in the league with 891. So, I mean, props to them and props to Marty for putting together a really awesome squad.
What are your thoughts, Ability? You got any thoughts on the Marty McFly squad over there?
Yeah, I got lots of thoughts on him, man. These guys, man, they took it to my team. I got to play one preseason game with them, and they didn't play very well. So because of that, obviously, me and my whole team, we were pretty confident going into that series. And then we came across the giant spiked impenetrable wall that is B-Crips. This guy stopped everything. And he's continuing to do it. And that's the reason this team is doing as well as they are. I mean, the defense, obviously, they got C-Dub back there. Marty put together a heck of a team. I didn't really think that when you trade up picks like he did, this is what you're able to assemble. This was part of my argument with the whole trading of picks the way it went down. Let's limit the trades of picks to one. I mean, but that's the reason this team got assembled. And man, it's a force to be reckoned with.
it's a way that you can assemble. I think it really benefited him that the amount of XBS guys signed up as late as they did, and that our draft was as deep as it was. I mean, Sober Enough was the 3rd overall pick last season. He was number 60 overall this season. Speaks to a testament of how deep the forward pool was in this draft, and it basically made it impossible to miss on picks. You know, you had everything in front of you. You had all these players falling. You got guys like Clancy and BCO and stuff like that going in like the 4th and 5th round. These are guys that should be going in the 1st and 2nd round in most drafts. So I think it really benefited teams that moved up in the draft because they were able to secure that top end talent, and they didn't have to balance it out with a weaker than average talent towards the bottom of the draft at the same time. But yeah. I mean, it worked for Marty. It didn't work out so well for Daly.
Yeah, another good reason. Parity, man. My argument was that when you start trading picks like that, the parity gets annihilated. And for some people, it didn't, and for other people, it most certainly did. So I mean, that was kind of it. Point proven.
So, Ability, your squad's looking a little different. I saw last night you had Brick City back on defense. How's that working out for you?
That's where Brick City is going to stay for my team. He's going to be back there on defense. I am littered with offensive talent on my team. So I pulled – well, I'll tell you what, this isn't the first time we've ran some similar lineup. We've played outside a league, and I like Brick City on left D. He's able to move the puck quick. He plays a position pretty sound. Of course, I think that anyone on my team, like I was asked last night to not make any more trades last night. I had to take the break for the night. But my team is up for movability, man. I will send people around. This is a happy-go-lucky squad I got. No, I like my team the way it is. I think that we're good. Moving forward, I think Brick City is probably, last night, even putting up points on D. So that's going to continue. And I think we've worked our way through some of the toughest competition we're going to face this season. So I'd be interested to see how we finish out the last 3/4 of the season.
All right, and Agent Squad, you got Pogs, you got Surprise Me, you just made a trade to ship out Figo, I guess, right? And
moved Figo and Nexus, who was playing right D for me, and returned was done, and Ezreal, as everybody knows him, as Saney.
Right. So you got Saney, Pogs, and Surprise Me up front, correct?
Yes.
And you're using Dunn and who?
I'm playing left D. Tom's is playing right D, and then obviously I have Shotgun in net. Tom's will be gone for tonight's series, so Dunn will be playing in right D.
Okay, all right. I haven't really been scoreboard watching too much, guys. I've been on vacation for a week, so I've been kind of just enjoying myself and taking my time off. So I'm not really too familiar with the squads yet. I'm still getting there. I'm still trying to figure this stuff out. But I'm ready to kick your ass tonight, Ability. Agent? What do you got for me, bud? Are you gonna take it to me, or what?
To be honest, I don't see that happening. Just because I think your team's still trying to find where they're at. I mean, you haven't practiced, you haven't played, and my team's already played 3 series together. We've had some practice nights together, some scrims. So, I mean, I do think that's going to play some part in this. I don't think that's going to be the whole game, but I do not see you winning the series. Not even a second, to be completely honest.
Oh boy, that's a little strong for my taste, bud. It's a little strong. I feel like I can put out a solid squad against you, bud. I think we're gonna in for a pretty good series. But let's send it over. Shock. We haven't heard from you in a while. You've got pretty much the same squad that you had last season, minus Clancy. What's going on, man? I know you got the sweep last night, but not a good start the first week. How you feeling about your team right now?
I'm feeling good about my team. The first week wasn't very good because obviously opening night I had my internet drop out for 2.5 hours, so couldn't play. And then the second series was just kind of getting everyone together and trying to continue figuring out what lineups would work. And that was the series against Marty. And I'm proud to say that I'm kind of surprised that we're the only team to actually give him a loss. Because we did that series 2-1. And that third game is kind of where as a team, we decided, okay, this is going to be our lineup. And we took that against McGilla and lost. And we did get swept by McGilla, but it was 4-2, 3-2 in double overtime, and 3-1 in the final game. And I know that series kind of lit a fire under my team, because the third game we lost 3-1 and we outshot them 22-7. So
good shots are different than every shot.
Yeah. Oh, but then we played the exact same we did against Dom and beat Dom 7-2, 6-5 in overtime and 3-0. So we're looking good.
You're throwing those blue line wristers on, Shock. We all know your squad.
Yeah, I mean, when you're shooting low, you're only going to get so many rebound opportunities. You know what I mean?
Actually, no. A lot of the goals were up and dirty. They weren't from the point.
All right, I do have a request. Dom's in the YouTube chat. He wants a shout out for Wolfmaster for stepping in for his squad last night when he had a bad ordeal with the whole Wollen thing, and he just wanted a shout out for him for stepping into a bad situation. So shout out to Wolfmaster, man.
Yep.
Shout out to that guy. All right.
I don't know if you guys have looked at our forum at all. Some of the questions that we got on there. Have you guys touched on Drug Monkey's question for Dom?
I have not. I don't have all those questions.
I got them in front of
you. Go ahead and read them out. All
right. So first question here from Drug Monkey is, when will Silva blame Yam for the team's misfortunes? Next reply on the forum is one series from Mr. X Daily himself. Can we confirm or not confirm?
All right. So I thought that Dominator Silva chose to become a captain so that he could get away from Yambag. I thought that was the point of him becoming captain, because Yambag had been seasons in a row, either in Moose or in 239 or whatever, and Yambag was just always on Dom's team. And Dom didn't like that. So now we come to find out yesterday that Dom's making a panic trade with Daly and saying, hey, my team's not doing so hot. I had my left winger just up and quit and then get Rule 1. Let me trade for Yambag.
Bring back the hashtag Cam.
I don't know. I thought that was pretty amusing. As far as how long it takes for Dom to start blaming Yambag, I think Dom is already blaming Yambag. I think it's already started. I think the losses that fired by the Greendale Community College were already blamed on Yambag already. So I don't think that's gonna. I think Yambag's already taking the heat in that party.
What do you think, Ability? How many series? What do you give him? What's the over under here?
I don't know, man. I tell you what. I don't like to make predictions anymore, because I've gotten to see some people's predictions, like Hanzo Roberto's, and boy, they're just tragic. They're horrible. So I think I'm going to bow out of the prediction department, but I'm going to wish both those teams good luck. I love all your faces. All you players on those teams, I love all you guys.
All right, well, if you're going to avoid that question, then take the next one. Have the Slayers finally figured it out? Does The Rock finally solidify them?
Whew, now The Rock is an awesome dude. I mean, from making a website to taking care of business on the ice, and they did get it done in their last series. However, you have to perform more than once, right? So let's see it. I got faith. I got faith in Chu, and I got faith in his squad. He's made a couple moves trying to strengthen the core team, and I think that that's probably what's going to happen. But the schedule is very difficult. Some of these teams are literally A-plus teams, and then some of these teams in the league we've got are like C-plus teams. So series to series, it's going to be a stretch. But sure, they can pull it together. I got faith.
What do you think, Shock? Are the Slayers going to put something together, or are they going to continue to struggle?
Honestly, for me right now, that's hard to say. It's just The only way I can say it is we'll see what happens.
That's a me response. You can't do the same thing I do all the time.
If you want the honest truth, I really haven't
Okay.
been paying much attention to
That's-
them. So I've been getting my team sorted out first.
Listen,
Yeah, you
the
gotta
hot
go through
take
the
right
process.
here is that you can't turn over your roster that much in the first week or two and just expect good things to happen. It's just impossible. You've got a bunch of guys that have never played with each other. You have to give them time to figure out how to play with each other. At least that's in my opinion anyway. I think panic trades are absolutely crazy. I think you have to give your team a little bit of time. At the same token, yes, you have to make a move to win now if you're going to compete in the league. Seasons are so short, but I think it's very hard to make a move where you're moving a ton of pieces or multiple moves where you move in 3/4 of your roster out and still expect to compete. It's too hard. It's too hard to build chemistry with people, and I think that is a real concern that captains need to take into account.
I don't know what you guys talked about before I got here, but another question.
Literally only Daly and Dom trade.
Okay, well then you didn't talk about this. So next question on the form is from Crazy Eddie. It's kind of a two-parter here. So we'll ask the whole thing, and then he is going to kind of answer it as he will. What position changes have surprised you so far this season? Like who has played better than expected and who hasn't? What teams need to make a change, and where do you think they need that change to be made? So you can kind of maybe pick one team you think that's been doing better, one team you think that needs to really turn something around, or it's been a surprise for you. So I'll throw it over to you, Shock. What's your thoughts on the question?
Hey, just double check. The question is for players specifically or teams altogether?
Teams. So what it is what position changes have surprised you so far? So I think by that what he means is what teams.
Okay.
To my knowledge.
Wait a minute.
Yo,
Oh,
You
look,
hear me?
yeah, look who it
wants you
is.
in here? Get him gone.
Listen, man. Listen. Some of us have to work. It's
I was late too.
playoff baseball. I'm driving in my car right now, using up my data because that's what we're doing. I'm here, man. I'm sorry, guys. How's the show going so far? Fill me in. What's happening?
Good. We touched on the trades. I was a little late, like always. I just following after my role model daily, and then I touched on all the trades from everybody. And right now we've been just kind of going through the forum, answering everybody's questions on the forum. And the question I just posted to Shock, which maybe you can answer since you just joined in. What position changes have surprised you so far this season, and what teams need to make a change, and where do you think those changes need to be made?
Okay. Biggest position change, Dunn. I love the way the guy plays personally. I don't understand why McGill got rid of him. So McGill, if you're watching, dumb. Absolutely dumb that you got rid of Dunn. The guy was lights out in our series. My team has issues in its own right, but that's for a whole nother show. But Dunn really impressed me in that series. I really liked what I was seeing from him. So I would have to go with Dunn. Going back to defense from forward, I mean, he played all 33 of his regular season games plus playoffs. I have to go with Dunn in that right. So that would be my biggest position change, would be him. What do you think?
All right,
What do you
and
think, Shock?
The second part of that is what teams need to make a change. I know there has been a lot of trades, so maybe you think that change has already been made for a specific team. What's your thoughts on what teams need to make a change, and where does that change need to be made?
I mean, everybody's played a minimum 9 games at least. I mean,
Besides Pale.
Yeah. Well, here's the fucking thing, by the way, captains, do your goddamn stats, please, for the love of shit.
Plus
Just
one.
do your stats. I
Shock.
mean, it doesn't take that long.
Hey, mine are in.
Good. Just do your stats, man. With the way the new system is, the stats don't go live until both teams do them. I know I'm sidetracking here, but I've been gone for 2 weeks. I'm catching up. Do your damn stats, please. But to answer the question, teams that need to make a change, anybody under 500 right now. We have the short seasons. You got 36 games this year. You get to play 12 series, which is great. Now's the time to do it. You've had preseason. You've had 3 to 4 series, depending on buys. Anybody with an under 500 record, I'm looking at the Sunnydale Slayers. I'm looking at putting it in. Even the Devil's Rejects. I'm looking at teams like that need to make a move. Pale, you get a free pass because you've only played 3 games in 2 weeks because you were just killing Mexico for whatever reason. But with that being said, anybody under 500 right now needs to take a look in the mirror and see, what do I got to do? So, that's what I did. So we'll see what other guys do.
What do you think, Shock? You think some of these moves are, pertinent? Is this something that people needed to do right away, or is it a little panicky?
Like Daly said, it's a short season. It's better to try to fix the problems as early as you possibly can. And to answer the question that was given before, I'm going to be a little bit biased and pick someone from my own team and say Yeti, because I was so used to him playing left wing, and then I put him on left D, and it has changed the team around. Drug definitely benefits from having that offensive style defenseman with him, so that way he can focus more on the defensive side. And I'm not sure if you guys have seen Yeti play D yet, especially in 18.
I have not.
I have
No.
no.
No. You'll be in for a surprise. And as for teams that need to change, I would, now that I've actually really gotten a chance to look at the rosters, I'm interested to see with how the trades, the most recent trades, especially for your team, Daly, how that's gonna go. And Sunnydale, I don't know, and this isn't a shot at him personally, but I don't know how well Legion is gonna do in net.
Well, here's the thing about Legion, man. I played with him on the Mongo Tards. He's definitely solid back there, and I think that this game is much better for goaltenders, in my personal opinion. I love it. So I think that it definitely benefits goaltenders. I think that Dirac is a big piece in that trade that hasn't really been talked about. He's a guy that should have been drafted as a starter, and now he's getting a chance to do that on Chu's team. So I love the move for him, and I think his team is going to benefit from that. The biggest thing with Chu and similar to my team, there's just been a lot of lineup influx, and at some point when you move the lineup that much, it really begins to hurt you because it's like, where am I playing today? Where am I playing today? Where am I playing today? Having that solid lineup is really going to benefit a team like Chu. He can play center. He's got Moose on lefty, and they kind of just go with it. And I think that's something that he was missing. So shout out to the Rock, man, because I think he's going to make a bigger impact on that team than people are going to realize. So is Ability in here? Where's Ability, man? Is he in here?
Yo, I'm right here, man. I'm just listening to all this mumbo jumbo.
I want to ask, man, how's Will doing, man? I got a chance to meet Will the other day, and I got a chance to meet Valerie. How are they doing?
Man, they're doing great. I think that he could be in the other room right now watching us. I'm not 100% sure. I know he's a big fan of X. What is X to the D to the A to the L to the Y? Yeah, he likes Daly over there.
Listen, he knew the whole spiel. He knew it from start to finish. He knew the whole thing. Welcome to the Thursday Throwdown. He knew the intro, man. So Will's a fan of the show. It was great getting to meet up with Ability and doing the whole bit. So shout out to him. Shout out to the fam. It was awesome. So with that being said, dude, I am doing 80 on the fucking highway right now, going home and trying to run Thursday Throwdown. That's why I don't have my video on. I'm pretty sure it's against the law what I'm doing. No fucks are given. I have my headphones in, so there's that. But yeah, I'm just out here bobbing and weaving, trying not to kill anybody. Let's talk 239, man. You are listening to the longest episodic running show in 239.
Daly, some of our viewers want an insight in the brain of X Daly. I don't know why, but they want to know, what is your biggest regret so far this season?
Nothing. I have no regrets. I never do. Listen, I'm gonna tell you.
That's soft.
He also has no regret skis.
I have no regret skis, but here's the biggest thing, man. I drafted a team that I thought was going to work, and guess what happened? It didn't work. I'll be honest with you, in my whole career doing this, which has been a long time, I've never had to face this much adversity in my whole entire life. I've never been in a situation like this. New era is a new feeling for me, and I don't like it at all. I'll be honest. I fucking hate it. If Esoteric's listening, I hate it. But here's the thing. I got some guys back that I think are going to really help the squad. Shout out to Tom Bradesy, Mac North. We got Tompkins 05, who I played with a little bit in another league. And we got middle and watcher back. A couple guys are going to get a chance to prove themselves on my team. I wish the best for Yam, Silver, and 37. I definitely feel, especially last night, we played better than our record shows. I think we're better than a 2-17, but it wasn't working. So I had to make a change. But, arrogant in victory, humble in defeat, man. We've been getting our butts kicked out there, so something had to change. So that's the insight, man. I'm getting a lefty in Tompkins that I've played with before. I'm getting a goalie in Mac North that's really making strides, and I'm hoping one of my guys can step up on that wing. So we'll see what happens, man. But this show is not just about your season 4 champ who happens to be 2-7, because I'm coming, guys. I'm coming back. Don't you worry about that. And every single person who's chirped will regret that come playoff time. But with that being said, I want to know, have you guys touched on surprise teams this year at all?
Nope.
Okay, here's what I want to do.
What?
Surprise teams. Let's do surprise teams so far in season number 5. I'm going to send it over to you, Ryan Ability. Who is a surprise team thus far in season number 5 for you? Good or bad? Good or bad?
Oh, surprise team. I'm going to go with the Sunnydale Slayers. And I say that because I had high expectations of Chu, even on draft night. I had a feeling that he was going to put together one of those teams that I would just be scared shitless to play throughout the season. And now, that is no knock to any of the guys on that team, because he still has some great players here. I look at the names, and there's a little fear there, okay? So don't take that wholeheartedly. But as far as what they've produced so far, they did just come off their first series win, but I'm anxious to see more. I want to see if they can do it. I am surprised that the team isn't up there. I would have assumed Chu would have put together a squad, hashtag Chem with Dom's Chem, that could have produced a little bit better starting out the season. But I think that even my team, a little bit lackluster in the way that we started out. So I don't know. I'd go with the Sunnydale Slayers. Pale, what's your pick on this? What's your surprise team, good or bad?
I touched on them a little bit earlier, but my surprise team personally is that Marty's squad is doing as well as it is. All the players on his team, obviously, but I didn't think that in a draft as deep as we had, that there would be a team going 11-0-1 to start the season. I just didn't see. I expected more split series than we've ever really had, and I'm just absolutely shocked that they're sweeping as much as they are.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think?
I want to touch on that, actually. Sorry, I know I'm driving and I suck today, but I'm with you, man. I was tough on the HUD Heroes in my pre-draft analysis, and here's why. There's a couple big things that worried me. Is where is the scoring coming from? Now, last year, Dalai Lama really stepped out of his shell in the postseason and had himself a phenomenal postseason. But I wanted to see it over the longevity of a season. Last year, the BBB guys really fed off each other and worked well together. Marty McFly is a great two-way player, but he doesn't jump off the page as this elite forward. Then at the time of the draft, you have, they trade for Hockey Town, and I don't know a lot about the guy. So I'm sitting there, and I know Chelsea's good, and I know that B. Cripps is a monster. Then you take C-Dub at left D, who's never done it in a full season. Not saying he can't, but he's never done it in a full season. So you're sitting there, and you're saying to yourself, well, listen, where is the secondary scoring coming from, and what's the left D going to be like? All those questions have been answered. Hockey Town is phenomenal. Marty McFly, I think, is first in points or second in points behind Ollie. And, C-Dub's been a monster on left D. That's why nobody's beating him. So I'm with Pale on this, man. The HUD Heroes is definitely a surprise team for me, but I'm not surprised anymore because of a lot of the questions I had, they've answered and surpassed with flying colors. So, Shock, what do you say is a team that's kind of surprised you, good or bad, so far?
Team that surprised me actually is yours, Daily. I thought this may have been a little biased from just previous seasons. You've always had a playoff contending team every season, so I figured, in the draft he knows what he's doing, and it's going to work out, obviously, and he made the trades. But one thing that I did want to ask you is, where are you putting Mido? Are you putting him at center?
Mito, I don't know quite yet. He's going to play a forward spot. My goalie's locked down with Tom Brady himself, Mac North. But yeah, Mito's gonna play forward for me.
All right, just
left
because
center.
I can give you a little friendly tip, I played against him in the dot in games 2 and 3 last night. He is a solid center. And so shout out to him. He gave me a battle.
There we go. That's what I like to hear. So, maybe went out, and I know he's been ripped for his goalie, but I'm going to do something a little different and see how it works out with him. So, Agent. I want to talk about Agent's team. I got to see these guys firsthand. And again, I went on a tangent about HUD Heroes. But if I had to pick a second team that's been a very big surprise team, it's going to be Agent's team. And I'm going to tell you why. First and foremost, a lot of the names on the team are either new to the league or are playing different positions. And when I say that name, I'm talking about Tomps, who's playing a new position this year. I'm talking about Surprise Me, who I don't know a ton about. I'm talking about Pogs, who's a great member of the league as well, but known more for his two-way game. To me, Pogs is probably one of the best face-off guys in the league. You heard that here. I think he's one of the best. He's really good at playing the chess match. And I think that definitely benefits because they're controlling, the puck 55, 60% of the time when he's on the dot, which is huge. Especially in league play. You have Agent, who's now sliding back to left D, picking up Sandy's Pone, who's playing left wing, and Agent's excelling in D as well. I just think that this team has a lot of versatility, a lot of flexibility, and they're going out there, they're winning 2, losing 1, winning 2, losing 1, winning 2, losing 1, but they're winning series, and they're doing it pretty handedly. I don't think that any series of theirs so far has ever been in question as far as winning or losing. I know the Victoria's Secret one was close. No offense to ability, but when I watched it and I was paying attention, it just looked like Seven Taves was really, really controlling those games, and it just looked to be in their favor. So, Agent, how are you feeling about your team after I just blew you for about a minute?
Dude, I loved it. No, I'm happy, dude. I like where I'm at. I wasn't sure about the Sandy trade, but from everything I've heard, the guy can be an elite forward. So how can you go wrong with putting an elite forward on your team? And I thought I made out well with getting Dunn back as well. Where losing Nexus, if I had to go back to forward myself, say the Sandy trade didn't work and I had to put Dunn on D, I don't think I degraded a whole lot going from Nexus to Dunn because Dunn is a solid player himself. He should be on a starting roster right now. He's not starting for me. Tonight he's going to be starting playing 3 games against Pale Phoner himself. And that'll be a kind of telltale to who's going to be playing for my team maybe for the rest of the season. I don't know. We're going to have to see how tonight goes. But to answer the question from earlier, I have 2 kind of teams that have been a surprise for me. One of which is the HUD Heroes. I'll touch on them quick because we scrimmed against them before the season started. And no offense to any of those guys on the team, but I mean, we kind of dick stomped them. They weren't close games. And I talked to Marty after they were over, and he just like, yeah, we needed to make a couple of changes, and I think we could fix some stuff. And that's kudos to him. Marty's people don't talk about it. People talk about like Rome being high hockey IQ. Marty is the same type of player, high hockey IQ, and he knows how to play, knows what to do, and how to help people improve and help his team improve. So I think that's why they're doing as good as they have. And my other team would probably be the Wanderers with DJ because he is pretty notorious for sitting at the bottom of the leaderboards, and he's doing pretty well for himself so far. He's sitting in second with, I think, 16 points. And he had a questionable team. I know he's got a talented team with Dank, Swag, Wiz Khalifa. Those guys are all kind of questionable guys up front, but I know Dank and Wiz have some chemistry already, and Swag enjoys playing with those guys. And it seems like they're all putting together really well. I know Dank and Swag are having a really big season thus far. And it'll be interesting to see if they can keep it going, I guess I should say.
Let's talk about the Wanderers really quick, man. I got a chance to see them last night. When I woke up this morning, mid-series last night, McSwagger's boner must have been through the fucking clouds, man. That guy has been waiting to chirp me for literally probably years.
It's been going on in YouTube chat for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, he's been waiting to chirp me. He's probably feeling really good, and that's great. The biggest thing that I'm going to tell you about the Wanderers series last night, and the biggest thing that I saw, it wasn't their offense. It wasn't. That's not what I took away from the series. Great. They scored 11 goals. They averaged over 3 a game. I love that. That's cool. But what really stood out to me about the Wanderers was their team defense. They were phenomenal defensively, and I'm not going to take anything away from them on that. They were holding lanes. They were sitting in the right spots. They were making good plays. Listen, there were questionable goals last night, but there was also some good ones. So, again, I'm not taking anything away from the Wanderers offensively. They got it done. But the thing that really stood out to me about that team was the defense, and DJ was really, really solid in net. So when you take in all those components and all those factors, I think it was really good for them. moving forward, and I'm going to say it right now, and he could sit there and chirp and do the whole bit and whatever, but McSwagger and DJ, or I'm sorry, and Dank, they cherry pick a lot. They try and get out of the zone quickly, and I think that against a team that maybe isn't struggling as bad as one like mine was, they're going to run into some serious problems, and they're going to leave their demon out to dry. If they can reel that in, and if they can really focus on that aspect, I know they want to get out in space, but if they can focus on that aspect and reel it in, I think they're going to be a team that's really, really tough. I really believe that. And when I mean really tough, I mean top three. DJ's playing like a top three goalie. They have the offensive ability to do so. I think King Rome needs to play center. And now he knows in his back pocket he has Johnny Blaze, who played a phenomenal series last night. I have nothing good but good things to say about the Wanderers. I'm glad McSwagger gets his 5 minutes of fame. So he had 7 points in 3 games. It was a good series for him, so I'll leave it at that. But what do you think their ability, man? DJ got a lot of scrutiny for the team that he drafted, but what do you think about his team moving forward?
Well, I don't know where the scrutiny was coming from. It wasn't coming from me. I think that DJ assembled with the picks that he had and the way that he ran his trades pre-draft. I think he did a great job. And seeing the team come alive right now, winning a series, just they look better than when we faced them. I think that I don't have much concern. My concern is this, okay? Swagger started off great. Compared to last season, he is doing exactly that, in my opinion, rebound player of Season 5 thus far. He's got 25 points he's totaled up. That's 12 goals, 13 assists. Dank's sitting over here, 14 goals, 10 assists, 24 points, one behind Swag. These guys right here are putting together something special. Wiz Khalifa, 20 points, playing center for him. So this team has the offensive firepower to hang in there and make games very difficult for the opponents. My concern lies with Santeria, a.k.a. Dank Love. I saw him in the chat today talking about, kindly asking for a trade, at which point, I chimed in. You can't kindly ask for a trade. And I don't see why you'd want to. This team has some serious potential. I mean, you get to hear the words that everybody just said about this team. This team has potential. I think top 3, that term was just used. So we need to focus more, like individually, let go of a little bit of whatever is holding us back, whatever reason we might want to jump ship for any reason. Just hang in there, because this is still really early on in the season. The competition is fierce this season. Man, and this is a good squad. I'm actually proud of DJ because I didn't get to see the DJ of the past that everybody said struggled. I'm just getting to see the DJ of this season, and what he's done and the way his team's playing. Kudos to you, man. You put together a heck of a team. You're playing good there in net. Johnny Blaze is holding it up for you. Snipers contributing. You got a good squad here. King Rome probably does need to jump into center. But I saw Wiz Khalifa play in the scouting games, and he's a good center. So I've got nothing bad to say about this team whatsoever. Could see big things in their future.
Dale Poner's been silent over there on the Wanderers here.
Yeah, I mean the Wanderers, I haven't really seen a whole lot out of them. The thing is, like, I could have wound up with basically the Wanderers squad. I played a lot of games with Dank and Wiz Khalifa and McSwagger while I was scouting. These are guys that were all really high on my draft board. I decided to change, go in a different direction instead. But this is a team that, I really basically had assembled in my mind with Dank, Wiz, and McSwagger up front, and I'm not really surprised that they're doing well. I think that they're all 3 really, really good, talented players. I'm not surprised at their at how well they're doing. And then you throw in Rome on the back end, which I think definitely shocked a lot of people, but at the same time, it's probably one of the better moves that DJ made. I think Rome can be a really, really good defenseman, and he has the ability to play at that position, and that position was kind of a premium in this draft. I think defense was, if you didn't get the first couple of guys, you're lacking. You're just off on a bad foot right from the start. So to pick up Rome where he did and then play him on defense, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with playing Roma defense going forward because I think Wiz Khalifa is a really good center in his own right. Nothing to take away from Johnny Blaze being one right D. He's another guy that I scouted quite a bit, and he's a guy that can definitely hold it down at either center or right D himself. So yeah, I think the whole around it. I think he's got a great seventh guy in Johnny Blaze. And then Sniper doesn't get talked about enough. The guy put in a really, really great performance at D back in season 3, I think, with MOTU, Masters of the Universe, on Silver Squad, and he's carrying it on in this season. I think Sniper's a really good defenseman and will continue to be.
Jesus Christ, this fucking asshole almost hit me. He's texting and driving. What a fucking prick. Who does that?
Thank God he's not doing a YouTube show right now.
Jesus Christ,
Throwdown?
the guy fucking swerved right in my lane. Douchebag. Anyway. Who the fuck's on their phone while doing 80 down the highway? Well, if he's driving
Some jackasses, that too.
Dude, Jeep
All right.
Wrangler, I'm all fucked.
Hale sounds really distracted right now. I think all he's thinking about is his practice that he needs to get in before this ass whipping he's about to get.
Yeah, that'll be it. I'm gonna
Watch
be
out for that.
off so I can get my team on and practicing and ready to take on Agent's squad.
Daily, watch out for Agent's trap. He's got it. Hey, Pale.
Trap, come on.
Pale.
Yo,
Seriously,
yeah.
watch out for the trap, man. They're doing a blue line trap. If I'd have read this thing early
My
on, we
team's
would have
already
smoked
changed,
them.
guy. Relax.
Oh,
Defense
oh,
is
man.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
I could hear you guys. I could hear you guys in my party from a mile away saying, just trap them at the blue line. Good job. Good series.
Now, listen. I know we're up against it. Here. I'm almost fucking getting run off the road here. So I want to talk about one more team that needs to get a little bit of due, and that is the Diddling Danglers. Now, they did just lose to the Hut Heroes. They did just get swept, but I'm loving what Desired Customs has done over there with that team. He's got Murph playing at a high level. He's got Lamp playing at a high level. And Atri, who sparked up on the forum a little bit. He was a little bit on Twitter. Honestly, the guy seems harmless. It's all keyboard shit, but he's playing at a high level as well. Mr. Hollywood not being there was rough, but what I heard was Marine Mike stepped in and was amazing in net. So I'm not even going to attest the series loss to that, but I guess I'll send it over to you there, Agent. Do you think that the Diddling Danglers are the real deal this season?
I think they are a solid team, but I think they are going to have to put up more points to be able to contend with some of the other squads that they're going to end up facing here soon. I don't think they're bad by any means. They have really, really good players on the squad. In obviously Lamp, DC himself is a solid player. Murph loves the shit talk. The guy can dangle when he's on. He's on. He's probably one of the better left wings in the league if he's playing to the top of his game. Renton is a highly touted defenseman in the league, like everybody knows, and same with the Treat. So he put a really good squad together, and Hollywood is, I think, the second best goalie in the league right now, in pretty much every major statistic for the goalie position. So they're sitting in a good spot. You know, it's hard to complain against a team that's really only given up 17 goals in 9 games. That's not bad in online hockey, you know.
What do you think, Shock? Is DC's team the real deal or what, man?
I think they're gonna do well. I unfortunately can't give a good analysis on them because the series that we played them was the series where I had my internet blackout. So, and that was honestly one of the series I was really looking forward to because the fact that everyone was hyping up this team so much, and I really wanted to see what they were about, and I never got to. So.
Well, what about you, Ability, man? I'm gonna end it with you, and then we're gonna close out the show here. Diddling Danglers, real deal or not so real?
Well, DC is a very talented player.
Oh, there he is.
I mean, the team he put together here with Lamp, Murph, Renton, Atri, Hollywood, Marine Mike, by the way, wanted me to let it be known that he went up against Marty's team, apparently, and he was able to hold his own against B. Crips. So take that for what it's worth, but I threw it out there for you, Mike. I like the team. The only thing that I'm a little bit skeptical of is through 9 games, their combined forwards have not the highest or even close to what I've seen as average point production as some of these other teams out there. So there's room for concern because unless you're getting, B. Cripps style, okay, Marie Mike, B. Cripps style day in, day out goaltending, the point production is a little lackluster. But with that said, DC, he's a winner, man. The guy grinds out, and I'm assuming that some of the players on his team, like the Lamp, another grinder. They're going to grind out those victories. They're going to get them any way they can. So I don't expect this team to fall. I think that DC is definitely playoff bound. I thought he was playoff bound when I found out he was a captain. That's how competitive he is, and that's how talented he is. So mad props to you guys. Lamp's no joke either. I got BC Renton on defense, and this guy, he's stellar. Last season he was stellar. He's brought it into this game on 18. He's playing just the same. I haven't got to see H3 play yet, but I've heard, even with the trade and whatnot, that things are things are looking good for him. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to give Hollywood any props because I still think Hollywood is Hanzo Roberto, and Hanzo Roberto predicted my team to lose to the Rejects. So there's that. But DC, other than that, man, great squad, man. Keep it up. I love what you guys are doing over there.
Do you guys quickly want to do predictions for tonight since there's only 2 series?
We can. Well, obviously my team's going to be pale. That's not even a question. So.
I was honestly gonna make that prediction. I was gonna pick you 2-1, and then in the other series, it's the Danglers against Daly's Rejects. And as much as I want to see the upset, I think the Danglers are gonna take it. So same thing though, 2-1.
We'll see. I mean, I to second that, they have been struggling with scoring, like I said, and the Rejects have been putting up decent points for themselves. So I see that series being closer than people think. If it is 2-1 in Dangler's favor, I see even one of those games going OT possibly.
Oof, man, no, I don't see that happening. The Danglers, they got DC and like the Lamp and Renton, and it's not going to happen. The Rejects, I'm going to give these guys their due because they're toughing it out. They're working and they're getting better series to series. But like I said, some of these teams out here are extremely talented, and some of these other guys, the chemistry's not there, and it's not panning out. I'm going to place Daly's Rejects in that category. These guys are trying to figure it out, but the overall game style that they're trying to play, it isn't there yet. Maybe tonight they'll piece it together. They might even pull out a win, but I'd say that this is going to be a real tough series for them. Man, this might be one of those series, too, where the Danglers piece it together and just start lighting up the scoreboard. So I'm not sure 100% what to expect out of that. Maybe the Rejects can keep it close. As far as it's a trap in 7 taves or toes, I think that Pale Squad hasn't had enough time to really gain the kind of chemistry that's needed to beat a team like Agent's about to throw at them. The trap at the blue line, it's a serious deal. It's kind of hard to get around. And then once you get around it like we did several times, you can go 0 for 20 on shots. So it's going to be an interesting series. If Pale's team can skate by you guys and sneak 1 or 2 in, you guys might struggle because truthfully, I think that you got to play with the lead a little bit more than you should have. So we'll see how it goes for you guys. Ultimately, I think I'm going to give you the advantage, Agent. I'm going to take the 7 toes and see if you guys can't win it. But I'm still going to give Pale's team maybe 1 victory. All right, we'll say 2-1.
That's generous. All right, boys. Well, sounds like we should wrap her up.
All right. Well, hey, I'm good to go. You guys got anything to say before we kick this out?
I'm good.
See y'all on the ice.
See you, boys.
Right. Love you, 239 family. Peace.